Good morning, pregame crew. How are y'all doing? It is January 19th, Wednesday, 8:23 a.m. Eastern, 6:23 a.m. Mountain Time. What's up, folks? What is crack-a-lackin'? If you're interested in my chart setup, it's on the screen now. I'm Chark Lori. You are at the pregame show. We're going to get ready for the market together. I go over indices, crypto, commodities, and movers and shakers of the day. Queen of the Mountain setups that I think are pretty valid and may work out to our favor. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for answering my question on what your walkout song would be. It's always interesting to hear what other people would say, and I love Simply the Best, and I like All I Do Is Win. Good morning, Greg, Roger, Night Truck, John, Mal, LAP, Blue Dog, Scott, Ken, Joe, RG, Mary, Sang, Topher, Danny, Amira, Asia. How are y'all? Buenos dias. How are you doing? Okay. Good morning. Audio visual check, please. Thank you, Chuck. Oh, thanks, Chili Effect. You know, I was just going back on our live streams to see how many pregame shows. When did we start this? April 1st on April Fool's Day. How fitting. So I have a few theses this morning of what went on last night, and I kind of typed it out so I wouldn't forget this time. Yesterday, y'all had to help me because I was saying it's 4 things. I can't come up. What was that 4th thing I said? So I typed it out, but we had a confluence of factors last night that made me buy the dip. It was fun. I love your work, Chili. Have you ever listened to Kid Craddock radio show? I'm not in the South anymore, so I don't listen to it, but when people would call in and say, I love your show, they would respond, we love yours. So I love your show too. All right, let me go. Someone asked a chart early on. Tesla. Tesla looks good. I have Tesla on the list. Tesla got some type of upgrade this morning. I'm looking for a long compared to 1026.69. Let's just call it 1025. I would like Tesla long. Matter of fact, let me go set an alert. I'm going to set it around 1027 so I'm notified ahead of time if it were to pull back. But they had positive news this morning so they could just continue higher. But they got to get through that hourly 50 on May 1st. Key resistance 1053.76. Yeah, smash that like button. Lucid and share lockups. So there's a certain period of time after a company IPOs that the insiders and initial investors cannot sell their shares. And they have to hold them for a finite amount of time. And then once that lockup expires, the shares are no longer locked up. Think of them being in a vault. They can now take them out and sell them and put them in the market. So more shares start entering circulation, and then a lot of people sell. They've been waiting and they haven't been able to sell. So it can bring down price artificially lower in a fast way. And then you can typically get some good oversold bounces on them. I don't know that LCID is acting normally. I would expect it to be red this morning. So I'm looking for a top fish, but I'm not going to be pig-headed about it. LCID has not been a normal stock. Hardly, it reminds me a lot of NIO. I guess it's something about these EV names. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. But it's just a hype stock and bears love to hate it. So we shall see what happens with lockup period. I would expect that we would get some red today, but doesn't always work like that. Good morning. Starbucks. I was listening to someone yesterday saying that Starbucks has earnings. When are their earnings? October 28th, so probably the end of January, yeah. Right here, February 10th, they have earnings. Coffee has been through the roof. I don't know if you follow coffee. Let's see if I can even chart it on here. I don't think I can. Yeah, here it is. So coffee has been super bullish. Actually, this chart is beautiful. But look at this rise in coffee prices. And I know that this is a fundamental statement, so just excuse me. So since Starbucks reported last right here. Okay, so since Starbucks reported last, coffee prices have gone up 22.5%. So if your costs are rising and you're not raising prices, they have not done a company-wide price raise in a while, how are you absorbing these extra costs? And are people avoiding COVID situations and avoiding Starbucks all in all? Because a lot of them, their dining rooms are still closed. So my fundamental thesis is bearish on Starbucks. And simply the number one reason is how beautiful this coffee chart is and how expensive it has been in the last year. Okay, so Starbucks daily's oversold, and some of this is getting priced in now. You see that? So earnings over here, we're already, what percentage are we below? We're 6% below the last earnings stock price. So should it be down 22% commensurate with coffee? I don't know. There's tons of variables, but this is pretty oversold on the daily. Weekly is not oversold. 95.92 is that key support on the weekly, or the next key support, I should say. It's blown through a lot of them. Support 98.24, 98.54, 99.36, support 97.51. You are, David? Well, welcome to TCG. Okay, SoFi is on the list. Let's look at PG real quick and then we'll get started. Consumer staples, they had a moment back here when COVID, Omicron stuff started coming back out. It's pulling back. There's nothing wrong with the weekly whatsoever. Had earnings this morning, resistance 160.11, 160.21, and 160.49. That's the key resistance, and support will be the lows of this move, 156.24 and 156.04. All right, let's get started. This is who I am, Chart Gal Lori. I'm part of the Chart Guys community. We teach technical analysis. If you want to check us out, you can visit chartguys.com. We have a thriving community that is pretty bad, you know what? That's a bad word. I'm not going to say that word. But pretty amazing community. Let me go back to the daily on ES so I can get my thoughts together. If you're interested in my chart setup, it's on the screen now. So here at the pregame show, I go over indices, crypto, commodities, movers, and shakers of the day. I use the term Queen of the Mountain, and all it means is these are setups that I find have higher probabilities of working out. They don't always work out, but it's we like it. We love the Queen of the Mountains. All right, so what happened last night? VIX met daily resistance. Let's go look at VIX. So here VIX hit 23.20, 23.20, double topped on the daily. What a gift, because we know the VIX likes to overshoot, then pull back. I top fished this. I'm still in a VIX short. So on the hourly, we're pulling back. This could end up being a cup and handle, so I've got to be a little bit careful of this. So we know VIX must sit down for the market to bounce. Let's go back to our list. So VIX met daily resistance, check. US 10-year approached monthly resistance and didn't quite get through it and started pulling back. The US 10-year has been wreaking havoc on the tech sector. Resistance 1892, 1902, and we've been watching this overnight. It just lost that support, which is good for tech bulls, then 1.847. And I need to stop here and say also that we have a lot of gamma coming out of the market this week. January 21st was a large leap contract date. So, leaps don't happen for every month. You don't have a leap for January, February, March, April, and lots of names. So a year ago, if you were buying leaps on, let's say, Apple or Amazon, January and March were one of your fewer options. So that's also causing some volatility. So just know that there's option stuff happening underneath the surface that is also impacting price and increasing volatility. But I would say this is the number one thorn in the market bull's side, going back to daily. So US 10-year approach monthly resistance. YM hit that 35,000 sight zone. Look how beautiful that is. It hit 35016, 35016 and bounced. We love large psychological areas. We love those zones because price can sometimes be sensitive in those areas. So that helped the bounce. And we had NQ approached the daily 200 MA. Let's go look at that. And Dan has been drawing out a trend line if you didn't watch the video from last night, the aftermarket video. So there's the daily 200 MA. We approached it. We got pretty close, and then we got a hammer forming of bulls buying that dip. So lots and lots of reasons. Let me go hide that 200 MA. I don't like to have it on my chart all the time. I like to keep it as simple as possible. So it was the confluence of all of those things and ES trend line support. So we had a trend line December 3rd, we had a low, December 20th, and then we hit that trend line yesterday. We didn't fall through it, and then this morning we fell through it. Bulls bought that dip and promptly popped back up above it. So these are the 5 things that I'm attributing to the bounce. Well, what did I do about it? Well, thanks to my bum knee. I don't know what I did to hurt my knee. It's actually embarrassing. I think it's because I got a massage that was too aggressive. How embarrassing is that? That's when you know you're old. And I bought ES last night at 453950 for all of these reasons. And I also shorted the VIX. I was posting all of these setups in our room real time, thanks to No Sleep Lori. And I got that bottom. That doesn't always happen. I don't claim for it to always happen either. But let me show you how pretty it is. If you've been here a hot minute, you know I like tweezer bottoms. Look at this. Look at that tweezer bottom, 45, 35, 50, 45, 35, 50. Perfect tweezer bottom, double bottom, and pop. You just can't write it any better than that. That was just a beautiful, beautiful setup. And it had a falling wedge type look to it, lower low without a lot of follow through. So I saw that and I started prepping at midnight last night for the show today, and I was looking at Apple. I'm like, we closed with a falling wedge. I think it looks best on the 30-minute. We closed with a falling wedge on Apple. That has me bullish the market as well. So it's, again, confluence of all of these signals that I'm just grabbing. I tell y'all, I wake up, the puzzle pieces are all thrown on the floor, and I have to put the puzzle pieces together. So I hope I help y'all lay out what the puzzle looks like at the moment. So what the bulls want to see now is a potential hourly inverse head and shoulders. And if you're a TCG member, you're going to get a lot of Lori today because Jason is out. So I will be doing the midday show and possibly the end of day show. I'm not sure yet, but you'll get lots of Lori today. You'll get tired of this accent. Resistance 459575. So we have 3 body parts to the inverse head and shoulders pattern that is now forming. We have bounced enough to say, okay, that's a proper head. Proper left shoulder, proper head. Now we need that right shoulder. So, nice bounce. Bulls are nowhere near out the woods. As long as this US 10-year is on a mission to Mars, and this could be a 4-hour bull flag because we got that bear break without a lot of follow through, and now we're getting that lower wick of bulls buying the dip. US 10-year needs to sit down, and VIX needs to stay sitting down. The VIX has made major problems for the market. We need the VIX to come on in. NASDAQ. Resistance is at 15329, 15434, support 15050. So of our the Fab 4 futures, NQ is up the most, but that's because it was beat up the most. So it has been picked on. But when I was actually comparing RSI this morning, NASDAQ was not as oversold. That was surprising for me because I feel like NASDAQ has been picked on because of the US 10-year, but that's why I chose ES over NASDAQ last night, is because that ES trend line on the daily that I like, even though NASDAQ had one on the 12-hour, the ES was super clear to me. I feel like it's a Mars trend line. It's nothing that I can like make up. There's no adjustments there. That one is clear as day. So that's why I grabbed ES instead of NASDAQ, because I think the 4-hour RSI at the time was like 23, and on the NASDAQ it was 27. So now the lows of yesterday become very important. However, be on the lookout, and Dan pointed this out. I didn't think about it myself, so I want to give credit where credit's due. We have these falling wedges on a lot of charts. So if they were to break the low of yesterday, we could still have a falling wedge in play. So be careful getting snookered in bearishly on a lower low if that lower low has a falling wedge pattern. NVDA has it. There was another one. Oh, ARK has it. ARK, Apple, and NVDA. My favorite 2 are ARK and Apple. So weekly's oversold, hourly falling wedge. And Dan also pointed out on yesterday's aftermarket video that a lot of times he's found that falling wedges mark the lows when we go set those lows on the daily or on the weekly. A lot of times it's those falling wedges. Why? Because falling wedges just represent bear exhaustion and where bulls just start turning and burning. Okay, go back up. Okay, RTY is through the resistance of 630 last night. Let's see, 630 my time. NASDAQ is not. So RTY getting a nice little bounce going. Support 208.910, 206.8. So I suggest you take today 1 hour at a time. So if you're an RTY bull and you bought the dip, bears will be waiting right here for you. 212160. So just be careful. Know where your resistances are. Know where your supports are. Don't get in a bind. That's a nice bounce on YM as well. We didn't get through 35402. Jungle is messaging me about ARK right now. It's so funny. A lot of us are very interested in ARK, and I know that people love to hate on it, and that makes me love it even more. Does that make me a brat? Support 35265, actually 35295, 35265, and 35167. And if you're new here, just know that I get focused on the charts. I'm trying to articulate all of my thoughts, and I can't monitor chat. We have some awesome mods that typically help me. Okay. We don't have any mods today in here that I see. So, but I will try, absolutely try to monitor chat as best I can while being efficient, because I know y'all have families to get out the door for school. You got to get out the door for work. You're commuting. I get it. So I just want to go as fast as possible, but still articulate and enunciate what you need to hear. VIX, we talked about that double top on the daily at 23.20, hitting that resistance of 23.33 and pulling back. Very cognizant of and aware of potential 4-hour cup and handle. We need VIX to melt down. That's what we need. Resistance 42692 on Bitcoin. Support 41126. So our team is monitoring a falling wedge on Bitcoin, and I don't remember the pattern. Let's see, it's probably on the 12-hour, the time frame. I don't see it as clearly, but a lot of our members do. So we're looking for the 2-day higher low on Bitcoin. We're waiting for that 2-day higher low to be put in compared to 39650. On the hourly, we haven't changed the trend. That's important. On all these bounces, you have to change the trend. We need hourly higher low, then higher high, confirm, confirm, confirm. Because if not, when you just bounce with no trend change, that's just a dead cat bounce. That's just shorts covering. That is not any evidence of bulls stepping in and buying the dip on any consolidation. Ethereum, same thing. Resistance 3176, 3194.28, support 3047. Okay. All right, gold is bouncing. Well, hallelujah. 1829.30 is resistance, then 1833. We got to do that to change this daily trend. On the 4-hour, we changed the trend. So congrats, gold bulls. Support 1804. Oil. So my resident commodities expert, Jungle Funk, is starting to look bearish oil again. We have this hourly EQ pattern. And remember, all of our inventory dates are most likely thrown off this week because of MLK Day. So it gets shifted to later in the week. So most likely oil and nat gas will be tomorrow. I don't know if API estimates are now going to be today after hours. So just if you're trading these names, you must know the reporting data and times. You don't need to know the data, but you do need to know the times because they could impact price. And that way you can manage your risk appropriately. Support 420, then 413.1. Resistance 4282, then 4308. Who is overbought on the hourly? It might get overbought. It's not now, so I'm not worried about that. On the 15-minute, they're doing a good job of cooling off RSI. But no, I'm not worried about hourly getting overbought on ES. If they start screaming upwards, then maybe if we get up 75, 80. But right now, it's a non-issue. The 12-hour could be a bear flag, so we have to be careful and protective and just walk your stops up if you bought the dip. Okay, let's get to our names. I've already gone over Apple on the hourly and on the 30 minutes, a falling wedge. I'm looking for a dip buy, a pullback buy. I will put my fishing pole here or here for Apple for a long. Key resistance to get over 170.79, then 171.28. ARC. I really like ARC. And really is probably exaggeration, but we are weekly oversold. I was looking at the 3-month this morning. We're looking for a 3-month higher low on the quarterly chart. Could it melt down to $50? Sure. Anything could happen. But I'm looking long for a dip buy. I would love to dip buy back to this trend line area, maybe around $77.50 or $77. And don't get faked out by a lower low that then bounces. So I wouldn't short lower lows when we have a falling wedge pattern. GS, y'all know I've been bearish banks as of late. We had a great short on Wells Fargo, but this is quite overdone. 4-hour RSI 26, daily RSI just approaching oversold. So I like Goldman for a long. 352.81 could be your dip buy area. If not, it would be down at 347.95 or to round off 348. Okay. So Lucid, I have lots of I've had conflicting thoughts on Lucid, so I've taken it off the list today, put it back on, took it off. I need to give y'all a bear name. You see all these names are all bullish. Yesterday, I told y'all my spidey senses, my trade senses, I did not feel bullish at all. Today, I can't find a bearish chart to save my life. Now, we know that a lot of things are beat up and they're just bullish because they need to have a dead cat bounce and they could possibly just resume their downtrend. So I'm not saying everything is hunky-dory over here. I'm just saying we have a lot of bullish setups. I would look to short 40.76 or 41.28 on a Lucid bounce. NVDA, this is not a great falling wedge. We fell below it late in the day, but I still think that it could work. I like NVIDIA to the long side against 257.70. SMH looking for that daily higher low compared to 287.73. So I like a pullback buy against 294.98 or 292.60. SoFi, you're welcome. Yeah, out of the money options is not your friend at all. Not even close to being your friend. Okay. Support 1390 and then 1311. Don't forget that high yesterday that was set early on. And these could all come back into play. 1367, 1357, 1332. All of these levels could come into play on a pullback. I'm not going to touch this one. This is not my wheelhouse. But it could have some nice volatility for ninjas. Let me write it out. Ninjas only. If you come to me and you say you lost money, but you're a newer to inconsistently profitable trader, then I'm going to say shame on you. Ninjas only for SoFi. Tesla, I like Tesla long on any pullback buy. I don't know that we're going to get a pullback, but 1032, if we could get back that far, that could be a nice area. And I'm just going to put my fishing pole over here and see what I catch. XBI, I like to the long side. Looking for this weekly oversold bounce to get going, but I'm going to be super careful. What was I looking at this on the 4-hour, I believe? Yeah, the 4-hour, this downtrend line is pretty strong. This could be a 4-hour bear flag, so I'm going to be patient. But definitely is my focus today is XBI long. I want to buy a pullback, and I'm going to wait for a high of low bar or stair step pattern, and I'm going to watch IWM the whole time and QQQ. If IWM and QQQ aren't bouncing, then I don't want any part of XBI to the long side. So I like XBI long against 94.75 or the low after hours 94.08. I doubt we would get that far, but maybe. 94.21. Don't forget that. We got to get over 97.12. And you see I'm saying 97.12 and not 96.86 because they're so close together. Got to get over 97.12. That would be a tall order for these bulls with this bearish 4-hour bear flag setup, but who knows? Okay. Yes, silver is stronger than gold and has been. Let's look at silver. I know a lot of you are silver bugs. So we had this 4-hour bull flag formation. We confirmed bull. Let's look at it on the daily. On the daily, we have the bull break, and gold does not. So gold is definitely, silver is definitely stronger. Your next resistance is actually here. It's sneaky sneak. Right there, 2404. Prior support could serve as resistance. This looks beautiful. All right. Any questions that you have, I will answer. The dollar has pulled back and the gold bulls had a lob. It's like someone lobbed up a huge ball for them to knock out a home run, and the gold bulls just totally flubbed it. Silver didn't, but gold definitely did because dollar gave them the perfect setup. So now on the daily, we're looking for a lower high on the dollar. And that should go ahead, once we get that lower high set and pull back, that should give gold bulls that bounce they need to get a daily bull break, but I'm not interested. Amazon, we're looking for a potential daily higher low compared to 312609. Doesn't mean we're going to get it, but we got a good bounce going in pre-market, and we would still look for a lower high compared to 3337. The question is are these tech names going to get a run into earnings? We're getting a lot of bank names out the way. This morning, Bank of America had a bullish reaction. We had GS, JPM. We're getting them all out the way. Now we're going into tech season. We have Netflix tomorrow. Let me look. Yeah, we have Netflix tomorrow. So is it time for these tech names to start bouncing into earnings? Yes, if this thing can sit down, chill out like a hyper little 2-year-old. Sit down, 10-year. I like ARK. Sure, it's the pivot high low, and then I changed my settings to 3 and 3 so I can get more to appear. A lot of people do 5 and 5 so it don't have so many labels. Okay, what's going on, CF? Okay, so CF has pulled back a lot. Yeah, we pulled back to the golden pocket here, so it's not a bull flag on the weekly. So on a bounce, we're looking for a lower high compared to 74.77. But definitely stronger than most. It was having a green day yesterday where everybody else was sitting crying in the corner. Your next resistance, 69.05, then 70.81. Key support, 67.28. All right. Well, I'm going to be live a couple times today, so I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you for joining me. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notify button. Go follow me on Twitter. Use stop losses and take it easy. The market's going to be here. If you can't trade today, it's okay. You're all right. Everything's good. All right. See you TCGers in the room. Yes, Calvin, the ES and NASDAQ charts would keep me from making an entry now. You're going to want to wait for a pullback on the hourly. Either to EMAs, so just wait for a pullback. In my opinion, it's too extended up here to enter here. The entry was way down lower, so I would wait for a pullback. But that's just my opinion because I want to protect against the 4-hour and 12-hour bear flag potential, which it looks a little bit clearer on the 12-hour. Okay, that's really it for me. Bye, y'all.